course, we primarily use peaches just for a fruit salad, some fruit desserts. They're not cooked in anything, but if you're going to cook, blend, puree, use a peach any other way, I just want to show you another tip to make that a really enjoyable dish. So anything where you're going to puree, there is a bitterness to this skin. It will take away from the pure sweet peach flavor. So what you can do is score the end, just make a little X in the skin. And then if you can dunk it in a pot of boiling water just for a few seconds, where the X is, the skin will peel back and you can just pull that off. And if it doesn't come off right away, you can just dunk it back in there for a few seconds until it's loose enough to pull that skin off. We won't demonstrate that because it's not essential for the recipes in the course, but I did want to mention that. You want to take out this little stem piece that's left over from where it was attached to the tree. Discard that. And they can be tricky. If you can find yellow freestone peaches, meaning the stone in the middle that I'll show you when I cut into this is loose, those are great because you just pull it out. It's really easy. You can, chop it up, do whatever you need very easily. This one, it's most likely attached. I don't believe it is a freestone peach. It was just labeled as peach at the store. But it does look a little lighter in color than what I'm used to seeing for freestone peaches. So I think we're going to have to do a little work to get this pit out. So you can use a chef's knife or a paring knife, whatever you like. Similar to the avocado, which is technically also a stone fruit, meaning there's a stony pit in the middle, like a mango, a plum, anything with actually a cherry, even though it's small, anything with that little pit or stone in the middle, you can work with the same way. If you're working with a cherry, you would obviously use your paring knife just to get in there a little closer. But so I cut until I hit the pit and then just roll it around like I did in the avocado video. Unfortunately, this one doesn't, loosen up very well because it's not a freestone peach. So I'll turn it 90 degrees and do the same thing. And if you just want sliced peaches, this can work out pretty well for you because you can just keep doing that until you get to small enough pieces that you can loosen one up, and then you can kind of slice around the pit. So we have this cut into slices. It's just all attached by that pit. So you can see if one is loose and you kind of pull it away. So let's see if we can do that. Worst case scenario, you end up with one that's a little mangled, but this actually looks pretty nice. And then if they're not easily able to be pulled off, then you can just get in there with your paring knife, keeping your fingers out of the way. Loosen them up. That's the way you're going to get the nicest looking peach slices. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. And then once you get a few off, it gets easier and easier. Those first couple are just the hardest to get to. That's one way. You can certainly, just slice off the edge, waste a lot more toward the pit, let me show you how to do that actually. So let's say we don't want to do all of that, we're trying to cut up a whole bunch of peaches, you're in a restaurant, you just need to be quicker. You can just look at where the edge of the pit is or guesstimate where it is and cut straight down. And then you will have slices. You just won't have the part that's right touching the pit. It is a little bit to miss out on though, because you get this beautiful red color that you're going to miss out if you cut too far away from the pit. So you can do that. So we have our pieces of peach. You can stack them up. Get your handy chef's knife out and just cut into whatever size pieces you want. So you can either have slices, chunks. The apple crisp recipe actually works really well with peaches, especially if you get crisper peaches. You don't want them too ripe because you'll just have a runny mess, but if they still have a little crispness, they're maybe not as ripe as you'd want and you want to do something with them, the crisp would be a great idea. Also, baking them with a little cinnamon on them is great. Sprinkling some cinnamon on them raw. There's so many things that you can do to make fruit a really tasty dessert that I encourage you to experiment. And also just, again, you can use the same technique that I use for the peaches for plums or any other stone fruit.